Colt 45 has a fine, rich flavor. A mature, multi-bouquet.
Yo, you're too slow.
And that's when everybody got nervous. Like, everybody. And Peter Chernin, head of network, sat me down and he said, we're really nervous about airing this.
What happened to In Living Color that caused such a big stir? Did you know one scene from the show was allegedly so controversial it got taken off the air?
He goes, undoubtedly it is great and funny. He goes, but we just don't think we can air this.
How did the creators and actors react to the backlash? This comedy show pushed boundaries, but did it go too far? Let's dive into the story behind this. The title In Living Color came from an old NBC slogan. Back in the 1950s and 1960s, before color TV became popular, NBC used to say, In Living Color, to let people know they were watching shows in full color. So the title of the show was a fun way to remind people of that old phrase and give a sense of excitement and energy. In Living Color made TV history in 1990 by winning an Emmy Award for Best Comedy Show. It beat some huge shows like the Arsenio Hall Show, Saturday Night Live, and Late Night with David Letterman. That's a big deal. The show was loved by both viewers and critics. A big part of the show's success came from the Wayans family. 6 members of the Wayans family were involved. Kenan, Damon, Kim, and Sean Wayans were in the original cast. Dwayne Wayans wasn't a main cast member, but he worked behind the scenes as a production assistant and appeared in some skits. Marlon Wayans joined the cast in season 4.
What do we got then, huh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
In Living Color wasn't just another comedy show. It was something fresh, bold, and completely different from anything on TV at the time. Created by Kenan Ivory Wayans, the show made people laugh while talking about real-life issues. It wasn't afraid to joke about serious topics, and that made it stand out. In Living Color gave us unforgettable characters like Fire Marshal Bill and Wanda, played by Jim Carrey and Jamie Foxx.
Get my number. Call me. I'll rock your world.
The show was groundbreaking for Black comedians and actors, giving them a chance to shine in ways Hollywood had never done before. Many cast members went on to become huge stars, but it wasn't always easy. In Living Color pushed boundaries, and that sometimes caused controversy. By season 3, things started to go downhill. By the end of season 4, the Wayans family wasn't involved anymore, and the show ended after 5 seasons on May 19th, 1994.
We all get laughs.
Now Kenan had an idea, a sketch comedy show like Saturday Night Live, but edgier. He wanted shorter, snappier sketches and jokes that hit hard and fast. No long, boring characters, just quick laughs. To make it stand out, he added hip-hop music and dancers, making the show feel modern and fresh. He pitched characters that became iconic, like 2 over-the-top gay movie critics, a parody of Louis Farrakhan on a spaceship, and 2 hustlers selling stolen goods from a truck. His vision was clear, and the pilot episode was created.
You know, we loved your movie, and, you know, we would love for you to create something for us. And you know, you can do whatever you want to do. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, you have total freedom.
But Fox got nervous. They wanted edgy programming, but when they saw the pilot, they didn't know if people would accept it. Afraid of backlash, they delayed the show for almost a year. They even tried to get approval from groups like the NIACP and the Urban League. Kenan was furious. He felt it was unfair to ask him to get permission to make comedy. Did other creators face this kind of scrutiny?
What do we got then, huh?
Nothing.
Nothing.
But by the time the show reached its later seasons, things started to go downhill. New cast members came and went, and the show's creator, Kenan Ivory Wayans, began to step back. By the end of the 4th season, he was done with the show, and that was when everything started to fall apart. In season 3, new faces joined the cast, including Jamie Foxx and Steve Park. Then in season 4, Marlon Wayans and Ali Wentworth became part of the team. By season 5, Annie Johnson, Jay Leet, Reggie McFadden, Carol Rosenthal, and Mark Wilmore joined in. The show seemed to be growing, but behind the scenes there were big problems. Keenan had always fought with the network over his ideas for the show. He wanted to push the limits of what was allowed on TV, but the network wasn't always on board. Keenan didn't want to be told what he could or couldn't do, but the network kept moving the line. One week something would be okay, but the next week it wouldn't. Keenan said in a 2019 interview with The Hollywood Reporter that he wasn't irrational, but the rules kept changing. He just wanted to know where the line was so he could stay within it.
And that's when everybody got nervous. Like, everybody. And Peter Chernin, who was head of network, sat me down and he said, "We're really nervous about airing this."
As the show went on, the fights became worse. Keenan wasn't happy with how things were going. He wanted to focus on movies and other projects, so he started stepping away from the show. By the middle of the 4th season, Keenan had already begun phasing himself out.
He goes, "Undoubtedly, it is great and funny." He goes, "But we just don't think we can air this."
Jim Carrey, who had worked closely with Keenan, didn't agree with him. Jim felt that Keenan's attention was on other things, and the show needed him. Jim thought Keenan was no longer fully invested in the show.
You know, before I learned how to exercise properly, I was a poor excuse for a woman.
By the time the 4th season came to a close, Keenan's frustrations with the network reached their peak. He had a major disagreement with Fox over reruns of the show's 1st season. Keenan didn't like how Fox aired the old episodes without his approval. He thought this would hurt the show's future value. This fight was the final straw for Keenan, and he left for good. Once Keenan and his family were out of the picture, things changed quickly. Without Keenan's leadership, the show seemed to lose its magic. It wasn't the same without him, and many fans agree that the quality dropped after he left. The final episode of the show ended with a rap group called To Be Continued taking the stage. The credits started rolling, and just like that, the show ended without any goodbye from the cast. It's clear that Keenan's departure marked the end of In Living Color as we knew it. Without him, the show lost its direction, and the energy was never the same. Sometimes comedy can cause problems, and that's what happened during a special SNL Super Bowl halftime episode. One sketch joked about actor Richard Gere and Olympic athlete Carl Lewis being gay. This made both men very upset. Richard Gere's agent even talked about suing the show, but no lawsuit happened. However, Carl Lewis got an apology letter, and things were smoothed over. Kanine, who worked on the show, explained that SNL had a delay of 60 seconds for live broadcasts. This gave the network time to cut anything offensive, but the joke made it through anyway. At the time, Carl Lewis's sexuality was a hot topic in Hollywood, which made the joke even more sensitive. Other celebrities like Spike Lee didn't like how SNL made fun of them either. Spike felt the jokes about black people weren't funny and said the show crossed the line. One sketch called Men on Film was also seen as offensive because of how it portrayed gay characters. Another sketch that caused outrage was Bolt 45, aired in 1990. Keenan mocked Billy D. Williams' Colt 45 beer commercial. In the sketch, a man gets a woman drunk and she ends up passed out on a table. Many viewers thought the joke suggested something inappropriate. Even though Keenan said it was just about the beer, the network disagreed. They made changes to the sketch, but it still upset people. The sketch was banned from future airings, syndication, and DVDs, and it hasn't been shown since.
Bolt 45 has a fine, rich flavor, a mature multi-bouquet.
In one episode of In Living Color, something went wrong. The wrong tape was put on air by mistake. This meant that the wrong version of the show played for everyone to see. This caused some problems behind the scenes. Sean and Kim, two of the cast members, couldn't leave the show because they were tied to contracts, but they were not happy about the mistake. To show their frustration, Sean, Kim, and other cast members wore black sunglasses during the next episode. They also didn't take part in Jamie Foxx's Christmas performance at the end of the show. They were clearly sending a message that they were upset about the mistake. Out of all the cast members from the first season, only Kim Coles did not return for later seasons. Why? Because Keenan, the creator of the show, fired her.
And then he used to have this line he would say to me, "A woman is as sweet as honey as long as she don't."
She later found out that Keenan didn't think she was versatile enough for the show. Kim believed Keenan chose his sister over her, which made her feel hurt. A few years later, there were talks about bringing In Living Color back with new characters and sketches. But after 2 years, Keenan decided to cancel the idea. He felt that it would be hard to match the talent of the original cast. Even though today's generation has talented people, Keenan thought the show wouldn't work the same way anymore.
Anybody know why the chicken crossed the road? To get to the other side.
Keenan also had trouble with the cast. It's said that Keenan ran the show like a dictator, making decisions without asking others for their opinions. One of the biggest complaints was that Keenan played favorites with his siblings, which made some people on the show unhappy. Keenan's brother, for example, was often involved in skits, and many felt that this caused tension behind the scenes. This made the cast feel like they weren't getting a fair chance.
Then let's get this show started with some enthusiasm.
Despite the backstage drama, the show had some very funny characters. One of the most popular was Homie D. Clown, based on a real comedian, Paul Mooney. Paul would say, "Oh, homie, don't play that," after being the target of jokes, and the writers used this catchphrase in the show. Another funny part of the show was Jim Carrey's character, Fire Marshal Bill. Jim got frustrated with Keenan rejecting his sketch ideas, so he created a wild pitch that ended up becoming the famous Fire Marshal Bill. Even though that sketch didn't make it to the show, Jim's character became a huge hit. Right after the show debuted, the famous rock band Living Color sued Fox Broadcasting Company. They claimed the show had stolen their name and logo. They even asked the court to stop the show from using the name, along with requesting damages. In the end, the case was settled, but it was a tense moment for the show and the network.
Yo, you're too slow.
One fun fact is that Sean Wayans, who was billed as the show's house DJ, wasn't actually mixing music. His DJ equipment wasn't hooked up to anything. He just pretended to be a DJ for the cameras. He listened to the tracks to stay on cue, but everything was just for show. Kelly Caulfield, an original cast member, and Steve Park, who joined in season 3, ended up getting married in 1999. They have 2 children together, showing that In Living Color had a little bit of love on set too. Here's an interesting story from Rosie Perez's memoir. She talked about spotting a curvy girl with a big booty from the Bronx at the New York auditions for the show's Fly Girls. This girl was Jennifer Lopez. Rosie didn't think Jennifer was the best dancer, but she saw something special in her. Rosie thought Jennifer had star quality. She even told Keenan, "That's the girl." But Keenan didn't agree. He thought Jennifer was too chubby and corny. However, when it came time for the final decision on who would be the new Fly Girl, Keenan did something unusual. He let the other girls vote for their new member. The girls picked Carla Guito from the LA auditions, not Jennifer. It was all on national TV, so Keenan couldn't really change their decision. But after the show aired, he went out of his way to bring Jennifer Lopez on board.
I followed you out of that porno shop down there on Kauai, and I knew you had to be going to a party else.
Now, have you ever wondered where Kenan Thompson got the idea for his hilarious character, Frenchie, on Saturday Night Live, SNL? Well, it all started one wild night out with 2 famous stars, Eddie Murphy and Rick James. One evening, Kenan was hanging out at Eddie's house. While there, he discovered something funny, a closet full of bright, cheap red leather outfits. These outfits were a gift from fans who loved Eddie's famous stand-up comedy special Delirious. Kenan, being the funny guy he is, thought it would be a great idea to put one of the outfits on.
So it was all these bad versions of the Delirious outfit. So we were, laughing about that. And I held one of them up and I was like, you know what, I should wear this out tonight. He's like, what? I said, yeah, I should put this on. He goes, that would be hilarious. I said, all right.
But he didn't stop there. Kenan also grabbed a wig that looked like Rick James's hair, a gold chain with the letter F on it, and funky sunglasses. With his new look, Kenan decided to head out to a club. He wasn't done yet, though. He pretended to be Eddie Murphy's cousin from Augusta, Georgia. The whole night, Kenan stayed in character, and at one point, he even joined Rick James in his limo. This funny and strange night inspired Kenan's character, Frenchie, on SNL. The character became one of the most popular parts of Kenan's time on the show. It shows how a simple, funny moment can lead to something big and how a night out with friends can turn into comedy gold.
As we're leaving, I got one more thing. And I go in the kitchen, and in the refrigerators, there's like this huge sausage. and I put it in the pants, because the pants are like skin tight. I put them in the pants, and it makes me look like I have the hugest schlong in the world.
Now let's look at what happened to the cast members after the show ended. Starting with Tommy Davidson was one of the funny actors on In Living Color.
I guess we call you listless, Muppet Man.
He played a lot of funny characters and could do hilarious impressions. After the show ended, he didn't stop. He acted in movies like Booty Call and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Tommy also kept doing stand-up comedy and performed in many places across the country. He appeared on TV shows like The Proud Family and Mad TV. Even though he wasn't as famous as Jim Carrey, Tommy kept working and still makes people laugh today. David Alan Grier was another key actor on In Living Color. He was known for his sharp humor and played a wide range of characters. After the show, David stayed busy in the entertainment world. He acted in many movies, including Boomerang with Eddie Murphy, and starred in his own TV show called Dag. He also worked on Broadway in plays like Race and The First Wives Club. David has shown he's much more than just a TV comedian. He continues to make people laugh with his acting and comedy.
You know, before I learned how to exercise properly, I was a poor excuse for a woman.
Jim Carrey is one of the biggest stars to come from the TV show In Living Color. He became famous because of his wild energy and the funny faces he could make. When the show ended, Jim's career really took off. He starred in big movies like Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, The Mask, and Liar Liar. People loved his unique way of making them laugh, and soon he was known all around the world as one of the funniest comedians. Jim didn't stop there. He went on to act in other types of movies, not just comedies. He showed his skills in serious roles too, like in The Truman Show and Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. These movies proved that Jim could act in many different ways, and his fans loved him even more for it. Throughout his career, Jim has had both good times and tough moments in his personal life. But no matter what, he has always stayed a big name in Hollywood. His funny characters in movies still bring joy to many people today. Kelly Caulfield was another key cast member on In Living Color. She was known for her funny characters and her great timing. After the show ended, Kelly kept working in the entertainment industry. She appeared in TV shows like The Drew Carey Show and The Jamie Foxx Show. Kelly also worked as a voice actor in animated shows like The Simpsons. Though she didn't stay as famous as some of her castmates, she continued to enjoy a career in comedy and acting.
First of all, we must internalize the flatulation of the matter.
Damon Wayans is a talented comedian and actor who made a big name for himself on the TV show In Living Color. On that show, Damon played many funny and wild characters, and one of his most famous roles was as Homie D. Clown, a tough comedian who didn't take nonsense from anyone. People loved his crazy and funny performances. After In Living Color, Damon continued to shine in the entertainment world. He starred in a sitcom called The Wayans Brothers, where he worked with his brother Marlon. The show was very popular, and fans enjoyed seeing the brothers play characters that were fun and relatable. Damon also showed his acting skills in movies like Major Payne, where he played a tough military officer, and Bulletproof, a funny action movie. He became known for playing both funny and tough characters in movies. Later on, Damon became even more famous for his role in the TV show My Wife and Kids. On this show, he played Michael Kyle, a funny dad who tried to keep his family in line. The show was a hit, and Damon's funny performance made it even more enjoyable. Kim Wayans, Keenan's sister, was a regular cast member on In Living Color. She was known for her amazing comedic talent, especially in her characters and sketches. After the show, Kim continued to act in TV shows and movies. She appeared in sitcoms like Hangin' with Mr. Cooper and Wayans Brothers, which was a show starring her brother, Damon Wayans. Kim also moved into writing and producing. She's worked on several projects, including the movie A Love Tale. She still enjoys a career in acting and is often seen in comedy roles. Takea Crystal Kima was a big part of the TV show In Living Color. She made a name for herself with funny and memorable characters. After the show, Takea didn't stop working. She became a star on Disney Channel's That's So Raven, where she played Raven's mom. She kept acting in movies and theater too. Though she might not be as famous as some of her co-stars, Takea has had a successful career in TV and film.
And then he used to have this line he would say to me, a woman is as sweet as honey as long as...
Kim Coles is a name many people remember because of her fun and lively energy on TV. She became very famous for her role on In Living Color, a popular sketch comedy show. But it was her role as Sinclair on the hit sitcom Living Single that made her a household name. Kim brought a lot of joy and laughter to fans with her funny characters and positive attitude. After Living Single, Kim didn't stop working. She appeared on other TV shows like The Parkers and The Love Boat: The Next Wave. Her charm and humor made her a favorite of many viewers, but Kim's talents go beyond acting. She became a motivational speaker, traveling around to encourage and inspire people. She also wrote books to share her experiences and wisdom with others. Kim Coles has shown that there's more to her than just acting. She's used her voice to help people and keep them laughing. Whether it's through her comedy, speeches, or TV roles, Kim continues to make a positive impact in the world. She's a great example of someone who uses their talent to make a difference in entertainment and in real life. Keenen Ivory Wayans is a name many remember because of his big role in the popular TV show In Living Color. He was not just the star of the show, but also the creator. He worked really hard behind the scenes to make sure the show was a hit. After In Living Color ended, Keenen didn't slow down. He kept making people laugh by directing and producing movies like Scary Movie and White Chicks. Keenen also had his own TV show called The Keenen Ivory Wayans Show, where he continued his work in comedy. Even though Keenen is still involved in comedy and TV, he has shifted his focus. Nowadays, he is spending more time with his family and living a quieter life. His busy days on In Living Color seem like a thing of the past. And that is all for today. Until next time, bye.